The Buckeyes have continued to add to a really outstanding roster with the pickup the number one tight end in the entire sport. We need to talk about what the addition of Max Klare means for the Buckeyes and what it means for college football and where we think the Buckeyes stand heading into 2025. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching the number one college football show, please subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss any of the segments that we do when news happens within hours, sometimes instantly following games. Pretty quick on the trigger over here because we love to talk about the sport. I love to give an opinion about the sport, and I like talking about the business of college football as much as anything else. And Max Klare is definitely at the top of business of college football. A little bit later on, you will see a segment about C.J. Donaldson committing to transfer to Ohio State and what that means for the running back room. But add that to Phillip Daniels coming from Minnesota as an offensive tackle and Logan George coming from Idaho State as a defensive end. And you can already see that the Buckeyes are reloading the cupboard for 2025 in this era of name, image, and likeness where we expect a salary cap to form at $20.5 million per school. And how that money's getting spent and who that money's getting spent on is very important and very interesting. Now, for a player like Max Klare, who comes out of Cincinnati's St. Xavier, same high school that Luke Kuechly came from, had 51 catches for 685 yards, you're joining a program that is great, outstanding, pretty damn good, and hasn't had a generational tight end in quite some time. I think Cade Stover's good. I think Jelani Thurman has an opportunity to be great. G. Scott is good. But generational? No. Max Klare has a chance, right, to join a receiving group that I think can be, once again, the best in the country. Next year, you're talking about having Max Klare, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, right, just for starters. Brandon Ennis, that's for starters. It's who's going to be providing the service that's going to be important here. Both Aaron Nolan and Devin Brown expect to transfer out. Will go somewhere else. Julian Sayin seems like the heir apparent for that job. They seem to be happy with him. I'm still going to hold out, see what's going to happen. I think Tavian St. Clair might actually come in, upset this apple cart, and make this into a quarterback derby if Julian Sayin is not careful. However, adding this Purdue tight end is also indicative of where Purdue was last year. They were talented, but Ryan Walters just couldn't find a way to beat a team that was within his division. It was really hard to watch it sometimes, but they had some great games. Like when he decided to call plays as a defensive coordinator who had never called plays as an offensive coordinator, it's like, all right, well, we're going to try all of this because he had fired Graham Harrell. Hudson Card was in and out. But I really thought that between Max Klare and safety Dylan Thineman, he had two great players. I mean, I had Dylan as one of the top 100 players in the entire sport when I did my preseason superstars list this season, and he's transferred to Oregon, right? So now if you're Purdue, you got to feel some kind of way about the product that you had, the personnel that you had, because in basically the span of a week, you have seen your safety transfer to Oregon, who is number 1 and 13-0, and your tight end transferred to Ohio State, which we believe is the only team that came out of the out of the first round that can actually run the table and win the national championship. And this is a great time to be joining the Ohio State Buckeyes following their win against Tennessee. I wonder just how quickly Max Klare or C.J. Donaldson would have pulled the trigger on committing to transfer to Ohio State had they lost that game in Tennessee. But it's not just that they won that game, it's that they beat the dog piss out of Tennessee. They put up 42 on that Tennessee team. They held them to 10. So when people tell me about Dylan Sampson and what he didn't do or how he wasn't there, I say, what does Dylan Sampson have to do with you getting 42 dropped on your head like a 9-pound hammer? Make me understand Dylan Sampson plays defense, because he don't, all right? All I heard about was Gerard McCoy and what he was going to do from Tennessee fans, and Jeremiah said, no, I'm cooking you. JJ said, I'm cooking you today. Enough of this, right? I've heard that y'all think y'all got something like a secondary. Let me go ahead and show y'all that is not true. I had Will Howard throwing contested ball after contested ball after contested ball, and Emeka Ibuka said, no, I'm coming over the top of you. I don't care. I don't care. They try to get Jeremiah Smith for pass interference if they're on the other team all the time because that boy is so big, he's so strong, he's so fast. All you can do is pull him down. That's all you can do, right? I wonder what it would be like to add a Max Klare to that. Now I'm going to have a matchup nightmare for every will linebacker you have and every strong safety you have. I hope you got it, right? It's also the second time in as many years that we know that Ohio State has pulled at least one of the number one positional targets in the portal. Last year, Caleb Downs. Tremendous win for them, and that man is a damn pterodactyl. Like, he's everywhere you want to be as a safety. You could play single high with him and let everybody else roam free, and that is a treat. That is a gift. Muffed the punt against Tennessee. It's bad, but he's also capable of running one back because he did that too. Now with this tight end, you once again at least secured at least one of the top prospects in the transfer portal at a time when everybody's trying to, load these guys up with money. I mean, that's what it is. We're talking about Darren Mensah getting about $8 million over 2 years. John Mateer at Oklahoma getting about the same, although Duke paying out $8 million for a quarterback tells you a lot about what Duke is committed to doing at Ohio State, committed to doing in the ACC. And they were good, right? And so was Darren Mensah for that matter. 9-4 Tulane, 2,700 pass yards, I think 22 TDs, 6 interceptions. I want to see what the 2025 recruiting class, like the high school recruiting class, can add to this, and how many of those dudes are on the roster come next 2026. That's going to be telling. But for the time being, I think that this is an absolute win for the Buckeyes, who continue to pile those up as they get ready to play an Oregon team that feels like they have the measure of them. It's not even that Dan Lanning has the measure of Ohio State or Ryan Day. He won that game, 32-31, and Dylan Gabriel played great. It wasn't like Ohio State didn't, right? It wasn't like Ohio State did not have the personnel to match up. Jordan James is awesome, right? I also think that the Ohio State defense that they showed is not the one that Oregon will see. I think it's more like Oregon fans feel like they got the measure of Ryan Day because Mario Cristobal beat Ryan Day and Ohio State in Columbus, and then Dan Lanning did it at Autzen. If you're a Duck fan, you probably feel like you're in high cotton. I will remind you, you haven't won a damn national championship since you've been born, dog. Dead ass. You ain't won nothing, all right? I need you to have just a little bit more humility about this situation. Because even if you do get past Ohio State, and you might, that ain't beating Georgia. We saw what happened the last time you played Georgia. They stopped a mud hole in you and walked it dry. You had to pick Bo Nix's body up and rehabilitate him to make him into a Heisman caliber quarterback. And that happened, right? But Dan Lanning knows more than anybody else. The SEC is the SEC. And I'm not exactly sure that Oregon got what it takes against that front seven. I know this because I've seen what Texas can do, okay? Texas has been able to run down everybody they played except Georgia. Now, I hope that Texas gets past Arizona State, and I hope Ohio State gets past Oregon, Oregon gets past Ohio State. But either way, Texas gets past Arizona State, I'm going to get the kind of matchup that I want in that semifinal. I'm going to get a great Ohio State team or a great Oregon team against what I think is a great Texas team, and then the winner probably gets to Georgia. I just don't trust Notre Dame to go win this football game. That's on me, though. I don't. And I don't trust the winner of Penn State and Boise State to beat Notre Dame or Georgia for that matter. So, yeah, I'm already picking against you. You can do all of that. But I'm going to tell you this. If you're in the comments and you talk about what your squad is being underrated and undervalued, and please continue to keep doubting us, I don't do that junk here. I don't do the psychological BS. Come with your chest out. Like, why are you Boise State talking about, yeah, keep telling us we suck? I don't want to hear that I suck. I want to hear that I'm the baddest thing walking. I want to hear that I'm the baddest man on the planet. I want to hear like, oh, you for real? Cool. I got something for you. I got something for you. That ain't the energy that Boise State out here with, dog. Frankly, that ain't the energy that Notre Dame out here with. And Oregon ain't out there with that energy anyway. Everybody that I think is going to win a national championship this year, Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, one of those three I think is going to win the national championship this year. None of them have this underdog mentality that y'all got, this short man mentality. Lot of conversation here lately about my appearance, right? I'm damn near 40. I like the grade is coming in. I can't wait to be a Silver Fox. It's going to be a good time for me. I'm very excited about it. Something about my face leads y'all to believe that I look something like Bill Haney. Fine. When is Devin going to fight Ryan Garcia again? When Ryan Garcia gets off gear. How about we start with that? And the last one is that I'm short. Yes. Okay. I'm 5'5". You're welcome to try me. Anytime. I won a powerlifting championship, national championship when I was 17 years old, dog. I work out a lot. I just care more about my cardio now than I do my aging joints because I've blown out both knees. I've blown out a shoulder. I've blown out an elbow. My body cannot hold up to fighting like it used to fight and lifting like it used to lift. I will disintegrate into nothing. This is the doctors telling me. So I spend a lot of time getting the cardio in. I got really high VO2 max now. That's what I do. But I'm also walking around believing I'm real good at this. I don't need nobody to tell me that I'm no underdog to feel good about that. That you got to have that underdog mentality seems more like what you got to go through. I'm out here like Mighty Mouse. You know what I mean? Like you be underdog, I'm be Mighty Mouse. That's how I want you to come into your college football game. I don't want you to come in not doing that. Tennessee, they came into Ohio State talking. I give them that. They didn't see nobody was doubting us. It was like, hey, they ain't seen the SEC yet. Last time they saw the SEC, they beat Alabama. That's 10 years ago. Now what? Now everybody's talking about, can we talk about Tennessee not supposed to be in the college football playoff? Maybe it's just that Ohio State's really that damn good, guys. Maybe it's that. My strength coach used to say about me, RJ is the only 5'5" dude that I know walking around like he is 6'5", 250 and bulletproof. I got mad at testing. Initial testing as true freshman. Said, what can you bench, right? I'm running 400 meters. I'm about 145, 155 pounds at the time, I think. And I said, 315. Load it up. And he looked at me like I was crazy. He put 265 on the bar, and I did sets of 6. I was mad because he wouldn't let me do no more than that. And then I did a whole thing that the strength coach got you doing. You put this broomstick on your back so they can see your squat form and all of that. Nah, man, load up the rack. Let's go. Let's get after it. It's time to show. That's what I'm saying. It's time to show. Ohio State, when they don't show, they take it on the chin. They get knocked on the face. Michigan stays in the comments. Hell, Tennessee got such a small mentality, they need to come out there with a Michigan emblem at their tailgate parties. You would never see me doing that for no Texas. Not once. I'm Oklahoma. Will always be Oklahoma. One day, one of y'all is going to get this through y'all's skull. But until you get your big boy mentality on, I don't want to hear from you. Not even a little bit.